Hello friends, Ben Ochart here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I thought I'd give you a walkthrough of the fish room before we get the 300-gallon delivered. It's going to be delivered tomorrow at 1 p.m. It's pretty exciting. Let's take a look at the fish room for the last time without the 300-gallon, give you some updates on what's going on. Let's go ahead and do it. First off, let's take a look at the this little 5-gallon tank here. And this is where I have the eye biter, who's undergone two treatments of ParaCleanse and some salt, and is looking good, is eating well. And I believe that tomorrow I will go ahead and return him to the main tank, and I'm hoping he was able to get rid of whatever parasite he had going on. He is eating and active and looking good, so I'm gonna go ahead and put him back in after two rounds of ParaCleanse and some salt. I think he's in good shape. He just needs to fill out now after having battled whatever it was he had going on in his gut, and hopefully he'll color up. I have that little aqua top heater in there, a little bit of substrate from the 210-gallon for beneficial bacteria, a little bit of pinky floss that I pulled out of the sump inside of this very small hang-on back filter. Didn't need the pre-filter on it, so I took that off. Pre-filter is really good if you have, like, let's say, little shrimp or fry, and you don't want them to get sucked up into that intake tube. But didn't need it, and I have some extra oxygenation going on with this Cobalt Rescue Air, which is one of those, like I've mentioned before, that will actually continue to run for 48 hours in the event of a power outage. I had this thing at the ready yesterday, the All Powers that I did a review on. I had it down here and ready to go because we were under a tornado watch. So I was ready to get things hooked up and backed up. I even had a lantern ready just in case I needed it. So we were ready for that, for the power outages that usually come with high winds and tornado warnings. Fortunately, the tornado passed us by, and I hope it didn't move on to someplace like Kentucky or something and create damage up there like it did last time. Tornadoes are no nonsense. 210 is looking good, and seeing here, Fisher. Man, oh man, look at the pattern on that guy. Big old trout. So these guys are looking good. For some reason, this little Fusco here has been very shy recently, hanging out in the corner. I might just pull him out for a little while, let him get a little bit more confident, and then put him back in. That happens. Sometimes these fish get a little bullied. This bicolor 500 is almost too much for the camera to handle. Look at the blaze on that Nimbochromis venusus. From top lip to fin, to tail fin. Just amazing. The OB, who is hiding here behind that rock, is going to be returned to the tank. I'll be keeping a close eye on him. And he's doing really well. Eating and all that good stuff. And he wasn't removed because he was sick. He was removed because he was chasing and beating up the bicolor 500. So I'll put him back in. I'll put him back in the 210 and keep a close eye on him. The Vieja will continue to stay in this tank until the 300 is set up. And then he'll go into a tank with a lot more room so he doesn't harass everybody. These guys are doing great. Look how these chocolates are growing. chocolate cichlids. I've got to be careful when I feed these fish now because the chocolates will jump up and latch onto my finger. Very, very aggressive eaters. Redhead topahos, just developing beautifully. 2 chocolates in here. They change color all the time. Everyone in this tank's doing well. No real big changes there that you're not familiar with. Can't forget the electric blue Ochart. Again, almost too much for the camera. The other ones over here, they tend to be a little shy. 90-gallon continues to be relatively peaceful. The 2 Ceremonensis do get into it from time to time. One of you recommended I should have about 6 of them. If I could get a hold of some more Ceremonensis, maybe I'll add them to the collection, and that will perhaps calm things down between them. Salvini is just spectacular, and I love the colors on this Nicaragua. Yeah, this will become more the peaceful South American tank. I'll have the Severums in here. I'll have the Geos in here. But people like fish like the Salvini and the Nicaragua and even the Viejas are going to have to go out into the bigger tanks. They're just a little bit too antagonistic, too aggressive, really. Planted tank is doing well. Little cherry barb in there. The 2 cherry barbs in the planted tank. Of course, Gary's in there somewhere. There he is. He has fully recovered. I got the top of this sealed up. I'm hoping tight enough to where he's not gonna jump out again. Plants seem to be doing okay. Never really been good with plants, but maybe the Easy Green and those tabs are helping. Here's the stand. I don't have the doors on it, just to minimize the weight for tomorrow. It's already in position and it's already been leveled. So what's going to happen is the van is going to back up right here to this garage door. I'm going to raise the garage door and the van will back up as close to the stand as possible. And then we'll go ahead and put the tank on the stand. And this is 7 feet across. You can see the dimensions of the tank here. This is a little schematic that was sent to me, a little diagram sent to me by Joe over at GlassCages. So I cleaned up the area so it's a little bit less messy behind the camera. Still got to hang my bike up. There's an extra 29-gallon for emergencies. Some of those blue balls in there. I have a ESOP sump I might be using with that. Got some of the Sarah products here that I'll be continuing to use. You've probably figured out I've decided to pretty much leave the betta in here. He seems to be doing really well. See him back there. Oh, here he comes. Thinks I'm going to feed him probably. Good looking fish. Love the fins on them. Now for those of you with experience with bettas, do you think I need to have an air stone in here? Someone told me that they do come up and actually take gulps of air, a lot like cory fish do. So do I need that air stone or am I just wasting energy with that? You tell me if you have experience with betta. Here's the planted tank. I call it the planted tank, but it's not really a planted tank. It's got a small amount of plants here in the corner, some Amazon swords, something else, his name escapes me right now, but everyone in here is doing great. There's a little pagoda snail who likes to bury himself. You see that? He's under the expert mattock there. And then when he comes out, he kind of sticks out his whole body and pulls himself along. It's actually a really cool snail. It's got a little blue on the shell. Very, very pretty. Just about every 2 days I have to swap out one of the socks from underneath the sump on the 210. It's sort of like the ultimate pre-filter. So in a way I've got two pre-filters on the 210. I have a pre-filter on both the FX6 that you see back there. That's a pre-filter back there. And then I've got the pre-filter of the water that cascades down into the sump down here. And then there's two of those socks. I'm changing them all the time, every other day. The face on that hawk. This sand diver is getting some great color. Great markings. Love sand divers. Give a better look at Skittles there. There he is. There's Skittles in his full glory. They're pretty OB. I just hope he can get along with the other fish when he goes back in. Look at the blue on the fringing the tail. It's got some blue on the back of the tail, which is just beautiful. With those orangey red spots. Really pretty OB. Hope I can keep him. If he gets too violent, he's going to have to go over to the local fish store. So there you have it. The last glance of the fish room without the 300 in it. Next time you see this view, there's going to be a massive tank there. You can see it here in the picture that was sent to me by Joe, asking me if I was ready. I'm very ready. It's going to be a fun project. So that's the final pre-300 gallon fish room update. Any thoughts, ideas, comments, tips, share them below. You are greatly appreciated for your support along this journey. Looking forward to this next phase. It's going to be epic. I look forward to you going along with me on this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, folks. Bye-bye.